It looks like it's request time again on Real Features. This is actually the second request that's actually come in since Brian Warmer's request for me to review the Doomsday Saga from Sonic Saturday Morning. Even though that's actually part of a TV series, but let's not kid ourselves, folks, that thing practically was a movie plot. Shame Sega and Deke didn't go that way. But anyway, on to the specifics for this ticket. I received a tweet on my Twitter at the MJ Knight. Thank you. And this is actually a guy I used to go to high school with back in the day. A real cool dude with the hashtag at Andy Curtis 09. And his tweet says, "Mate, can you please do a YouTube video all about why Spider-Man Peter Parker is not in the Avengers?" Now, not to go into too many personal specifics, but he also kind of states that he's tried to explain to his girlfriend and to his son, Bowen, which, by the way, Bowen, your dad, Andy, thinks you're a real cool kid, and you really like Spidey, and so do I. So, the basic gist is, and I'm sure quite a few other people want to know why, Spider-Man is not in the current Marvel Cinematic Universe. The basic thing is, although Marvel as a big, conglomerate group, they own the rights to Spider-Man as a comic book series, they own the rights as a TV show, and they own the rights to things like merchandise from plush toys and other kind of merchandise from like stationery, clothes and whatnot. They don't own the movie rights. For the simple reason, Marvel did not become a movie studio until about early to mid 2007, when they put everything on the line with their first cinematic release of Iron Man. And as I stated in special features nearly 2 years ago, when Random DC did the retrospect leading up to Iron Man 3, Iron Man 1 was a huge gamble and it paid off. The only reason Spider-Man has not been included is because Sony still hold on to the actual movie rights. It's in a similar regard. Now, I know not too many people are familiar with Knight Rider because it's kind of old school to some people in a bad way. Their choice, their opinion, not my place to say. But Universal hold the TV rights for it. But before Glenn Larson passed away, in actuality, Glenn Larson had the movie rights for years, before, and they were supposed to go to the Weinstein Company to make it. I don't know why they're still stalling, but it is what it is. Like I say, the simple basic reason why Spidey, Peter Parker are not in the Avengers is because Marvel actually want him in the Avengers because they know what such a draw Spider-Man is, even though as a movie franchise he's not as popular at the moment as, say, Iron Man, which in some regards you could argue as being the face of Marvel as it stands at the moment, especially with the way Robert Downey Jr. has played Tony Stark since 2008. But that is basically the gist of it. That's just why Parker and Spidey are not in the Avengers, is because Sony are holding on to the movie rights. But from what I've been hearing that have been going on with the Spider Summit at Sony, I'm not going to make anything of this because it just sounds stupid enough just saying that, A couple of rumors I've been hearing on the wire, and I've been hearing a couple of things that Seven Webheads has been saying as well, which you should go check out his YouTube channel. I mean, this guy is just so passionate about all things Spider-Man, great guy. The basic rumors I've been hearing on the wire is that there are a couple of options. we will actually get Spidey go over to Marvel, but it would be a case of Marvel would actually fund and make the movies, but Sony would distribute it. Because as it's been pretty much documented in the world, Sony are in a lot of trouble financially because they've sold off their PC line. I don't know the situation in regards to their TV sales, but their movies are not doing that great. And apparently the only one that's making a draw is the PlayStation division. And they could actually solve most of their financial worries if they actually sold the Spider-Man movie rights back to Marvel. But they won't do that. The other rumours I've been hearing is they want to continue doing their cinematic universe with Spidey and the Sinister Six movie. I'm not what you would call a Marvel purist, but I don't want to see a Sinister Six movie. I want to see Spidey join up with the Avengers. I mean, for me, it would be one of the most rewarding and interesting things just to see how Spidey would interact, probably on somewhat of an intellectual level, with Tony Stark. I mean, Tony Stark in the Avengers and Iron Man, the guy is pretty much an arrogant clown, but there's something quite likable about how he does it. But that said, Tony Stark is still a genius when you consider what he's actually accomplished in the story. And, you know, like Andy's kid and his girlfriend, I too would like to see Spidey in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because, I mean, they could do extremely well without Spider-Man, but bringing him in, you know, it not only gives the fans what they want, but it's also ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. It's a win-win situation. Everyone gets what they want. And there's also the rumor that if Marvel do get things to go their way, Spidey will actually show up in Captain America Civil War. One little problem. Marvel apparently don't want Andrew Garfield, which I think is an ode of stupidity when you consider Andrew Garfield is probably one of the only few decent qualities that is of the Amazing Spider-Man movie series. Personally, I think they killed the character of Gwen Stacy off too early, because Emma Stone is just such a breath of fresh air as a love interest for Spidey, and the less I'm reminded about Kirsten Dunst as a love interest who has about as much acting talent as Megan Fox. Yes, I went there. Although she didn't do too badly in the latest Ninja Turtles movie. Other than that movie was a train wreck. Apparently they want some kid called Logan Kierman, who played Percy Jackson. Now, I've never seen the guy act, so I'm not going to narc on him, but from a fan perspective and from the perspective of things that work and are logical, when you have an actor that's possibly the best portrayal of a leading protagonist in a much beloved franchise in no one knows how long, and you want to replace him with a guy that's a little bit that you have no idea how it's going to work, it just has stupid, 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 stupid written all over it. Now, I want to make this clear, because there is some words on the wire that's going around that they want Tobey Maguire back now. Okay, let me shoot things down a little bit. If we were doing Spider-Man Reign, I think that's the name of the comic book, which is like their version of, Batman's Dark Knight Returns. Comment section below and correct me, because I'd rather be corrected than, someone not doing it. If they were doing, like, a new Spider-Man movie where Parker has been retired for years and comes back out of retirement to help people because he's the only one who can do it, then fine, I could believe that. But Tobey Maguire is approaching 40. It's a little bit difficult to get a guy, although he looks very good for his age, to get a guy to try and play a teenager slash early 20s when he's actually twice that age. I just don't see it working. Now that said, Andrew Garfield is already in his early 30s, but you look at him, you sort of think, you don't look your age, dude. And here's the thing. I like Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker, but he's not Spider-Man. I'm sorry, the guy just didn't crack jokes. Andrew Garfield, you can't get this guy to shut up! Especially during the carjacking scene from the first movie, with such lines as, you know, if you're gonna steal a car, don't dress like a car thief, man. Are you a cop? Really? You think I'm a cop? A guy dressed in a skin-tight red and blue outfit? I mean, come on. That's classic Spider-Man. That's the Spidey we know and love. Now, I personally like to see Spidey go over to Marvel and actually be included within the Avengers storyline, because Spidey actually was an Avenger at one stage or another. And for him to be included and to actually interact and serve some importance and some relevance with the storyline would be good. And the thing is, and this is something that not too many people know, for the first Avengers movie, Marvel and Sony at one stage actually came to an agreement where they would have the Oscorp Tower in the New York skyline to have some kind of implied notion that the new Amazing Spider-Man and the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be within the same universe and the same storyline. But for reasons unknown, it never made it into the final cut, which I'm a little disappointed with, because if they are supposed to be within the same universe, then why have the Avengers not heard about Spidey and vice versa? But, you know, after a long-winded, explanation, that is basically the main reasons why Spider-Man has not shown up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that has been started by Marvel Studios and Paramount and is now, funded and controlled by Disney. Marvel and Disney want Spidey to come back over, but Sony won't let them. If they were to get control of the movie rights, or to have Spidey come on a loan period, for want of a better expression or description, then that is how Spider-Man could be part of the cinematic universe with Marvel. But with what's been going on at Sony, they might just do it, considering some of the problems they've been going through. But I've been wrong before. So, plus there's also this rumor going around that Disney could be acquiring Hasbro and are looking to get DC, Warner Brothers as well. I didn't think Warner Brothers were doing that badly, but again, what would I know? So, I want everyone who's watching this video to actually get involved in the comment section below. Say how you feel about the possibilities of Spider-Man coming back over to Marvel, because that's where he belongs. Because we all know that Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not quite as amazing as we would have liked it to be. The first movie was decent, but they should have just let Mark Webb make the movie how he wanted it made. The other possibilities I have been hearing in regards to what could happen is we still get Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, which I think is the best decision all around. he would still come over to Marvel, but they would also still get Amazing Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 4 done. The other one I've been hearing is Sony would tell Marvel where to stick it and actually continue making Amazing 3 and do the Sinister Six movie, which again, as most fans are aware of, they don't want any sight nor sound of it. And I didn't even know of the Sinister Six until Random DC pointed it out to me. And even then I'm like, but it's not Avengers. You know, I know I'm saying that somewhat blasé and somewhat nonchalant, but do we really need a Sinister Six movie when Marvel's got Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers? Yeah. Well, I hope this video has answered a few questions to Andy Curtis's girlfriend and their son Bowen, which I appreciate the support and the fandom I get from you guys. I really appreciate that. And I know that Andy likes Tales from Gotham. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you very much. So, from Ticket 3 of Real Features, good night from the night, and let's hope Spidey does come back to Marvel. Excelsior!